Hey everyone. Okay, we're starting off without a direction, but with a lot of messages. So the first thing I want to say is that I sat down at my table to do the reading, and there was a penny on my table. I don't know how it got there. Probably, I don't know, it fell out of something, I put on the table, maybe my wallet or something. I can't remember doing that. But anyways, the significance of the penny falling out, where is it now? Is that it's a U.S. penny. The date on it is 1998. But in one of my readings recently, I mentioned how, and I can't remember what it was, maybe the Scorpio reading. I'm not too sure. But I mentioned how we don't make pennies in Canada anymore because there was something on a card that reminded me of a penny. And then I'm hearing 2 cents right now. What's your 2 cents on something? There's something about someone giving you 2 cents, like, their opinion, or you giving someone else your 2 cents. But I found it interesting because, we have U.S. Currency mixed in with our Canadian currency all the time. I'm sure you have that too, and if you live in the States or maybe elsewhere in the world, currency tends to, if they look alike, they get mixed up. But we don't make this here. And here it is on my table. So it's like someone, maybe someone from the U.S., one of my viewers out there, one of you is giving me their 1 cent, and I'm missing the other one. It's an interesting thing that's happening here. So just wanted to mention that. Maybe 1998 means something to you. I can't think of anything that's significant for me with that. Okay, and then, guys, I hope you're ready for this journey. Because Spirit kind of wanted to play this word association game. There's a very playful, childish energy in this reading as of right now. And I don't know how long this is going to be. Well, you already know because you'll see it. But I don't know where we're going here, okay? But the word association game was, I'm going to tell you 2 words, and you are going to think about the first word that comes to mind when you hear it. Okay, I'm going to pull out cards and all that jazz too, but, this is happening. Okay, this is happening right now. So what do you think of? What's the first word you think of when you hear imagination? Okay, so you have your one word that's associated with it. Is it negative or positive? Can you think of times in your life where people have said you're imaginative or you're not imaginative enough? How does that word feel to you? I'd be interested in the comments to hear your associations anyways. But this was a question that was asked to me. And so I looked it up, the definition, and I found it really interesting. So here it is. Let's see if it aligns with your association of what imagination means to you. The faculty or action of forming new ideas or images or concepts of external objects not present to the senses. The ability of the mind to be creative or resourceful. Sounds like a little bit of magic to me. Now, I looked up imagination and magic. There's no, the etymology is not associated in any kind of way. But it was interesting because my idea of imagination wasn't as deep as this. I wasn't giving enough credit to imagination. So there's something about using your imagination here. And it's weird. It's like I have this feeling right now in my chest. It's like very excited energy that wants to come out. It's like a little bit like a nervous kind of feeling. So I don't know if that's something you're feeling right now or if it's just this imaginative flow of energy. All right, second word, and then we're done with the word thing. Help. What's the first word that comes to mind when you hear help? Well, this definition isn't so profound as imagination was for me, but it's to make, help has a lot of meanings in the English language. We use it in different contexts. But the ones that stood out to me from the dictionary were to make pleasant or more bearable, to rescue, save, or provide relief. And so I had this message come to me, I don't know, about an hour ago. I was doing something else. I wasn't thinking about tarot or anything like that, but I had this message come where if you are a person who likes to help other people, part of that, it's a complex, I don't know, I'm reaching out to someone here who feels this. It's a complex feeling because you really enjoy helping other people, but you yourself don't ask for help enough. Or you don't know how to help yourself. Or you don't feel like you deserve help for one reason or another. So when you provide other people help, you're showing to yourself, you're demonstrating to yourself that you have that capacity to make something pleasant or bearable, to rescue, save, or provide relief to someone else, and therefore you have that propensity and capacity to do that for yourself. So I thought that was really cool. And this is like the emotions are really like, I don't know, somebody might be going through something today, okay? Because I do feel like this emotional boat, and I'm hearing row, row, row your boat, okay? So it is an important question. Do you feel deserving of help? Maybe you don't feel like you deserve help for some reason. Someone out there needs to ask for help for something in some capacity, you know, big or small, tangible, work-related or love-related or psychological, whatever it is, you know? But whoever that is someone who helps other people. Okay. Word association game done. Now, this was sticking out. I went to get cards to pick which deck I wanted to use. You guys are so patient. I love you so much. And in my drawer, this deck was standing out. Now, this isn't a tarot deck. This is a deck, I don't even know when this was printed, but I was given this as a child. I've had this since I was like a tiny, tiny child. You know, I don't even remember how old I was when I got it. But I guess this was really my first intro to cards and messages, because they're like tarot cards, but they have little fables on them. Okay, so I thought, well, it's staring at me in the face. Maybe there's a message in here for the collective, and I've never used them for a reading at all. I just have them for sentimental reasons. But when I read this, it really connected with that help message, okay? So here's the card, the wolf and the crane. So I'm going to read what it says on the back, the little story here, and then we'll get going, okay? One day, a wolf was eating his dinner when a bone lodged in his throat. The poor wolf coughed and coughed, but it was no use. The bone was stuck, and he lay there gasping for breath. A crane wandered by, and the wolf pleaded for help, but the bird ignored his cries and carried on walking. "If you help me," gasped the wolf, "I'll make sure you are well repaid." The crane stopped. "You will reward me?" he questioned. "Yes, yes," groaned the wolf. "Please help." The wolf opened his mouth, and the crane removed the bone and waited for his reward. "There is no further reward, you silly bird," laughed the wolf. "Was it not enough to put your head in a wolf's mouth and not have it snapped off?" "But I was so kind," complained the crane. "I saved your life." "You were not kind," snapped the wolf. "You only saved me for a reward." Moral: no favor is a kindness if done for a reward. No favor is out of kindness if done for a reward. And so that fable got me thinking about that help message. Because there's something about helping someone else to show yourself that you can help yourself if you can help someone else. And therefore, are you doing it out of kindness for that person or a reward for yourself to show yourself something, to prove something to yourself? I don't know. You decide on that. it's a kind of I'm seeing like a puzzle. Well, I'm seeing like a Nintendo, you know, like square with the puzzle piece and the question mark. It's like in the mystery. What's going to pop out of there? What's your answer to that, you know? It's interesting though. Kindness and reward, okay? It's not an act of kindness if you're anticipating a reward. Okay, guys. What's your challenge? What's the collective facing as a challenge? Nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable moon. And I think this has something to do with someone out there, or the collective in general. We're doing things, or someone's doing things that seem like acts of kindness, but there's a warning here from Spirit about help. You know, providing help, and that's interesting. I had the book closed. I opened it right on the page. Thank you. But there's something about rescue, saving, providing relief, making something more pleasant or bearable to someone. Is it out of the kindness of your heart, or is it because you're anticipating some reward, whether that's an ego boost or some financial reward, or I don't know, whatever that means to you. And maybe this will be of help, that first word that you thought of when I asked you to think of an association with help, or maybe even imagination. So I'm not quite sure where imagination figures in yet, but maybe it's because nothing is yet set in stone. So you need to reimagine something that you're doing so that you can, well, I'm seeing reward and kindness actually sitting on a scale. Because there's nothing wrong with being rewarded as long as kindness is equally balanced in there. So maybe the message here is for when you help others out of kindness, remember to reward yourself with that same kindness. Okay, what's supporting you? Oh, well, here's the scales. That's why I'm seeing it, because I saw the card, so that's why it was in my head. Okay, a win-win outcome is a win-win outcome is forecast. There's the scales. Full moon in Libra. Yeah, it's balancing that. Balancing kindness with help and using your imagination to figure out how you can do this. So this for you is many of you have some kind of project you're working on. I'm seeing children here too for some of you, and like all these, like this feels very childlike, this reading already. And I'm hearing Gemini. So there's something here about maybe teaching that lesson to someone about kindness and reward. Because you can't help others at the expense of yourself, right? Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, well, we'll keep these out here as the challenge and the reward. Oh yeah, I was also being asked to pull a card from this deck that I rarely use. I don't know why. Primordial. Guys, didn't I say that word yesterday? What was I talking about when I said primordial? Archetypes are primordial. So maybe this story here about kindness and help is something deep buried within you. Interesting. That's funny. I heard the laws of the land. Okay, there's something about this energetic exchange between kindness and help and imagination too. And we have individuation here at the bottom. Okay, we're going to put these away because I feel like this is a rabbit hole that I probably shouldn't go down. Yeah. Okay, so let's find out. What's challenging the collective? Nothing is yet set in stone. Ooh, here we go. 10 of Swords in the reverse with Judgment. Okay, look at this 10 of Swords. There's like, and that's a vulture, but it kind of reminds me of the crane. I think I put the fable back. Oh, there it is. The wolf and the crane. Ten of Swords in the reverse with Judgment. Yeah, there's, with nothing is yet set in stone, there is something, Three of Swords at the bottom, there is something that you're creating, I feel like, and you're on the precipice of like a fork in the road, okay? You're just about to place something on the other scale here. And there's, I feel like there's a little bit of a warning here about how you want to approach this. You know, maybe some of you need to be, the ability of the mind to be creative or resourceful. There's something you need to get creative with in order to sidestep, I heard some kind of disaster, you know, and in terms of like your project not running smoothly or whatever it is you're working towards, you know, even if this is a connection with someone, there's some step that's almost about to be, like I'm really seeing you're almost about to take it, almost like the Fool card I'm seeing. And there's a moment here, a pause like that. It's like a pause. Well, that you really need to ask yourself where your project is coming from and what are your intentions? What are your intentions with connecting with someone? What are your intentions with doing whatever it is you're working on? You know, for a lot of you, this is something creative. I'm hearing like musician, music. But it, you know, anything, it could be anything, right? But there's, what are your intentions here? For some of you, you need to collaborate a little bit. You need that other penny. You need that other cent to get 2 cents here. And you know, when we say that to someone, I'm just giving you my 2 cents. Usually we like write that off as like, you know, my opinion doesn't really matter. But really giving someone your 2 cents is a way of helping someone if you're coming from a place of kindness. So maybe there's someone around you that you need to look towards who can help you out, who can help you sidestep something. Because I feel like you're in this moment where it's like the precipice, you know, you're at the top of this cliff like the Fool about to jump off, and it's like, well, where do you want to land? You know, you have to decide that at this point. Interesting. It's also a challenge that nothing is set in stone for you. You know, it's fun to get lost in this kind of play. Like really, we're playing right now. Well, I am, you know, I'm delivering messages from Spirit, but Spirit's having me play or demonstrate play to you in some way to have fun, to tap into that kind of playful energy. But when you're playing, nothing is set in stone. Everything is subject to change. There's a lot of imagination involved in play. But every game you play, you know, as a child or, you know, as an adult, whatever it is that you're doing, there are rules. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a game. There wouldn't be, constructs. You know, you wouldn't know when you lose and when you win. And therefore, you wouldn't know when you're having fun, I heard. So there's something about setting the boundaries around the play space of some kind of game you're playing. And so that could be metaphorical. See, you guys have shown Spirit and me that you're okay with this kind of abstract stuff. So, you know, can of worms. King of Cups. Ooh, a lot of water energy here. There is something about reeling it in. It's interesting. It's like I'm getting from Spirit, I am getting a message here from Spirit about like you need to play and have fun and use your imagination. but there's something here that you like you don't want it to come off as not serious. You want it to people to take you seriously, yet still see the creativity in whatever it is you're doing, or the love. You know, if this is about love, that you want someone to take you seriously, but you want them to see your emotions like not too serious. So the question I'm getting here that you need to ask is, what is the reward you're seeking? In other words, what's your intention here? Because reward isn't inherently bad, right? It's not an inherently bad thing. So yeah, there's something that's off. The way you are thinking or balancing or prioritizing something you're working on, or someone who you're moving towards, or whatever it is, or yourself even, there's something that needs to be leveled out a little bit more. Okay, let's get one more message on that there. Spirit, can you give me some clarity on that? Or maybe... yeah, no, just whatever. I was going to say the Ten of Swords, but Two of Pentacles in the reverse. It's balance, right? It's that juggling. It's like keeping them both in balance at the same time. I heard because these two flowers go together. 2 cents, right? 2 cents. There's a polarity and a duality here that needs to come together for harmony. Kindness and reward. Well, I'm hearing like judgment and pennies, or judgment and it's interesting because we're talking about reward, money, penny. Okay. Judgment and what am I hearing? Well, I'm hearing like moon. Something about a mystery. A moon mystery. Maybe this has something to do with the full moon here. Okay, I'm just jumping around. I'm going to use the animal spirit deck here to ask what energy you're currently sitting in and what energy you need to move towards. Okay, Spirit, what energy is the collective currently sitting in? The hummingbird in reverse. Wow, guys. Yeah. You're trying to pollinate something, create something, do something. A lot of like fast moving energy. And that feeling I was having in my chest has now since dissipated. So maybe something happened in your environment since I've been talking the last, holy shit, 22 minutes. But hummingbird is the energy that you're in, and where does Spirit want you to move towards? And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is in reverse. It's like you're pollinating the wrong flower here, or you're only pollinating one flower, and you need to pollinate 2. We're not talking about sexual partners, okay? I mean, if that's you and your story, I mean, whatever. No judgment, you know? But there is something about pollinating only one flower in whatever you're doing. Okay, so what energy does Spirit want you to move towards? Oh, that's 2. The whale and the gazelle in reverse. The whale. Wow, that's pretty powerful. That to me is like deep thinking and intuition. That's and you know, when I was looking at imagination, the definition and the etymology of the word, it comes from Latin, but the etymology is linked to this idea of the private sphere of the mind, the imagination. And that's what I see the whale as here. And you know, we have many myths and stories about whales. You know, I want to say Huckleberry Finn. I don't know why. There's something about a whale here, that whatever that means to you, some mystery here, some something that Spirit wants you to move towards. And when I think about whales, I think about their sounds, you know? They're so complex. Their communication, the way they sound is so complex. And this is music again almost, right? But they sound so sad to me when I listen to them. But that's just my perception of what I'm hearing. It's not necessarily that they're sad, right? So maybe you're not hearing something through kindness. There's something about seeing something for what it is without having to link it to yourself. And in that way, like not, listening to a whale and hear, anthropomorphizing it, which we do with these cards, but it's like, don't take that whale song and make it your own. It belongs to the whale. It's part of the whale's vocabulary and imagination. That's one scent and you're another. And you can come together to make change. You can come together to make change. But you're different. Different years, maybe even different countries, currencies. These are probably metaphors. But let something be independent on its own and respect that. Because then they'll respect you as you are for your independent self. Not one of like a herd. And needing to slow down here, and the hummingbird energy in reverse too, and that all that energy I was feeling in the beginning, there's a need to slow down. The wolf, let's not forget, okay, with the story, that the wolf choked on the bone. Probably because he was eating too quickly. Right? So the stork was like, that's not my problem. You should learn how to eat, which isn't a very nice thing to think, whatever. But it was like respecting, like, that's your issue. And then the wolf tricked the stork. So it was unkind, on both of their behalves. All right, moving on. I could be here all day doing that. Okay, that imagination stuff. Okay, let's see. What's supporting you? A win-win outcome is forecast. Well, that looks good, right? But it is about this balancing. Spirit, what can you tell us about this win-win forecast once the collective moves into this whale energy, imagination? We have the Knight of Cups, creativity, looking right over at the Six of Cups. Okay, Six of Cups is children, childhood imagination, playfulness. In this deck, it's really interesting though. So the Knight of Cups is looking over here at the Six of Cups. There's all these webs. I wanted to say cobwebs, but there are spider webs, but I heard cobwebs. Okay? Things that need to be cleared out from your imagination. Things need to be cleared out from your imagination. So you can get unstuck in a sense. And it's a matter of sorting out. Like I'm seeing this Knight of Cups here looking over at these Six Cups and thinking, okay, like what in this web do I need to get rid of and what do I need to keep? What's throwing things off balance here? Because I'm getting like, even if you get rid of something that maybe you're holding on to, some way of thinking, some way of communicating with another person, or something you're actually working on. Like, I don't know, maybe you have like a bunch of song lyrics that you're sitting on the fence about and you just need to scrap them or something like that. I don't know, it could be anything. But it's like, I heard a paragraph. It could just be anything. That's kind of clogging things up. It's messing things up because you're attached to it in some way. It doesn't work with the flow of what you want to do. The person doesn't work with the flow of what you want to do. You know, that thing you're doing, it's just not flowing properly for you. And so you're trying to like go around and make it work and pollinate all these pieces, puzzle pieces, and put them together because you have an attachment to something here. But Spirit's saying with the win-win outcome, it's like, okay, if you want to make it hard on yourself and try to get all those pieces to fit, try to incorporate that person into your life, try to move towards that path that, you know, is really difficult and it's not where the energy is flowing, it's still going to work for you, but it's going to be a lot harder to balance that out. The reward is not going to be as fulfilling, I'm hearing, because you weren't kind to yourself. So you need to get rid of something and recognize what that attachment is that you have to whatever you don't want to get rid of. You know, like on a very practical level, like say it's, I don't know, a person. Well, what is it about the person that you don't want to get, you know, maybe they have a bunch of qualities that aren't working for you, but there's something there that you want to hold on to. What is it that you want to hold on to? Can you find it somewhere else, in something else? Or if this is a project, you know, what about that, I don't know, that paragraph, let's say, are you so attached to? Is it the way you've written? Is it the syntax? Is it the prose? Like, is it the words you've used? Like, what is it about that isn't working but you want to keep? Okay, Spirit, what else? 6 of Pentacles. There's something about collaboration here that's important with those 2 cents, right? You're trying to figure a lot out by yourself. You need help, okay? You need help because your imagination is kind of all over the place. Someone needs help here in a practical way. And there's something about you feeling like you can do it all by yourself, or doing it all by yourself demonstrates that you're strong. But sometimes it's just so much easier to ask for help. If you don't ask for it, you won't get it. One of the things my mom taught me at a very young age was, well, you don't get anything. You like, how did she put it? Much more eloquent than I'm going to say right now. But it was something about, what's the worst that can happen if you just ask for something? You know, if you don't ask for it, you're just not going to get it anyway. But if you take a chance and actually ask for it, the chances are pretty high. And I don't know why that was such an epiphany to me at a young age, but it still kind of is, right? Like sometimes I don't like the way something is and I just ask for something to change and someone's like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. And I'm like, oh, it was that easy? Like, why was I making it seem like I shouldn't be asking for that? So there's something around that with help, you know? Sometimes people are just willing to do it like no problem. It's no sweat off their back. But we've imagined this whole thing of like, oh my God, they're going to see me as this way, or some, you know, some of us, not all of us, but something about that there rooted in childhood. Something in childhood where you were deterred from asking for help, or you asked for help and it wasn't given to you. Okay, so that needs to be cleared out. Because at this point, you do need some kind of help. And it doesn't have to be, well, it is related to another person, but it doesn't have to be like you need to physically talk to someone or meet up with someone, but maybe you need to seek out someone's knowledge, another human's knowledge they've written or something like that, right? Okay, let's get one more on this win-win outcome. 9 of Swords. Ooh, I like this card in this deck. 3 of Cups. I'm getting that there's something in your anxiety that you're overlooking. I heard there's a horse in your anxiety, guys. There's a horse in your anxiety that wants to be set free, like a wild horse. So some of you, when you feel anxious about something, you know, you do your things to get rid of that anxiety, because nobody likes to feel anxious. And, you know, especially if you have, like, you know, if your anxiety is serious, right? Like you have an attack or something like that. But even if you don't, we all do things to, you know, calm ourselves down or move ourselves into a different space. And Spirit is saying that's okay to do that, you know. But there's something in that anxiety that your body or your mind and your soul is trying to, I heard Spirit, is trying to get you to pay attention to. Some kind of feeling there, something primordial, knowledge you have in that moment. Because your anxiety is a reaction, your body's way of telling you something, you need to pay attention to something right now. And there's something in there that's going to help you create something creatively. Not create something creatively. I meant it's going to help you creatively and to create something, right? There's something in there. Okay? For a lot of you, I feel like this has to do 5 of Pentacles. Yeah. See, okay, this is where it's getting deep now, of course, right? When we're like close to 40 minutes. Okay, we have Death, the Magician, 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, and 3 of Cups. So I feel like in the past, like a long, long time ago, you did try to manifest some kind of help and it just didn't come through. Someone let you down. And that's now become this part of your anxiety. It's not feeling like you have help or anyone's around to help you or no one will understand. Okay? Let's get a closing message. Maybe I'll do another one. I heard, why do you feel you need to structure? Okay. Sorry. True though. Why do we feel we need to make everything so structured? And that's with that King of Cups out here, right? Like, why do we feel we need to present ourselves as like this, you know? Well, we know why. Other people judge us, you know? What am I missing here? When a card doesn't come out, I feel like I missed something then. You need to have faith in yourself. More of it. Even those who have a lot. You need to trust whatever you're doing now, whatever you're working on, whatever you're feeling. Trust it. I heard even the contradictions. When something contradicts, trust it. That contradiction is happening for a reason. It's stirring up some kind of anxiety for a reason for you. So trust that it's useful, that it serves a purpose, that everything you do and feel and think has a purpose. It's not useless. I heard it's just a matter of what you do with it. Okay, let's get a message. Thank you. Take a moment. See, I was saying there's something you need to slow down with something. Receive the reward of kindness to yourself. Take a moment. Stop. Stop. Now is the time to rush into the decision you're about. Now is not the time. See, I skipped a word because I was going too fast. Now is not the time to rush into the decision you're about to make. Before this important decision is made, take a moment to pause. Yeah, take a moment to pause. Right? And quiet your mind so that you can ask your soul for guidance before you act or move forward. The whale feels like a very paused energy. The gazelle in reverse, right? Not choking down that bone or eating your food so fast so that you choke, right? Okay, receive. You are a kind and loving soul who constantly reaches out and gives to others. But now it's time for you to learn how to graciously receive. Just as with the ebb and flow of the tides, the art of giving and receiving is the natural law and order of the universe. Learn how to receive just as much as you give, and everything will balance out to a win-win situation. All right, guys, I love you so much. I'll see you next time.